Hello, this is Lesson 10F Measures of Center. And if you don't have this handout, please make sure that you download it from my PowerSchool website where you found this video. And make sure you have colors ready to start writing the notes. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the box on the left. And these are what we call the three measures of center: mean, median, and mode. So let's go ahead and start with the mean. So the mean is most commonly known as the average. And to find the mean, we add up all the data values and divide by the number of data entries. Please pause the video so you can copy what you see on your screen, and when you're ready to continue, press play. Please pause now. Next, we have the median. The median is also known as the middle. So let's write middle underneath median, and the way I remember that the median is the middle is they both have the letter D in the middle of the word. And to find the median, you would put the numbers in order, and then you find the middle number. Now, it is possible to have two middle numbers, but in that case, you add those two middle numbers together and divide by 2 to get the median. So make sure to add a little note about that. Again, pause the video if you need to copy this down, and then press play when you're ready to continue. Please pause now. The last measure of center is the mode. The mode stands for the most often, appears, or most. So go ahead and write most underneath, and the way I remember that mode is the most is both words start with an MO. Now to find the mode, basically the mode is the data value or values that appears the most. So if there's one value or two values that appears the most, that's your mode. There can also be no mode. So if none of the values appear more than the others, you write no mode. Again, pause the video to copy what you see on your screen, and when you're ready to continue, press play. Please pause now. So now that we've talked about the three measures of center, let's talk about when it's most useful to use that measure of center to describe our data. So we're going to go ahead and on the right side, we're going to talk about when it is most useful to use the mean. It's usually best to use the mean when the data is symmetrical and there are no big gaps in the data. So this is a line plot here of data values, and when we look at this line plot, it ranges from 2 all the way to an 8, so there's no big gaps here. And if you look at the heights of the line plot here, they're pretty symmetrical. In fact, with your red pen, let's go ahead and kind of outline the outside of these towers. So you'll look, it's pretty symmetrical. So we would probably use the mean to best describe these numbers and how they're dispersed. So let's take a look at median. When is it best or most useful to use the median? It's most useful to use the median when we have data that's skewed, or if there are big gaps in the data. That would also be a good time to use the median. So when you look at this line plot of data values, notice that on here we have, the range is not too big, it's from 1 to 9, but notice that we have some gaps, couple gaps here, and it's kind of skewed over to the left side, the lower three numbers. So with our red line, we're going to go ahead and outline the towers to get an idea of how skewed it is. Okay, so that would call it a skewed data, and that would probably mean that it's a good time to use the median to describe the spread of the data. If you need to pause the video, please do so you can have everything on your paper. Okay, and then the last one is the mode. The mode is most useful when the data is categorical. So for example, if you were looking at everyone's favorite color, you can't put a data number to it, so you would use the mode to describe what the most the most popular color is, or anything that doesn't have a number value. The mode would be the most useful to use to describe your data. And now we're going to look at the bottom two here, the two boxes. We're going to talk about the range. The range isn't one of the measures of center. Instead, the range is the spread of your data. So please write spread of data down here. And to find the range of your data is you take the biggest number and you subtract it by the smallest number. Pause the video if you need to copy this down before we proceed. Please pause now. So now let's look at why is the range useful? Why would we need to know the range? Well, the range is useful because it is a measure of how the data is dispersed. So please write that down and pause the video so you can copy it down correctly, and when you're ready, continue, press play. Please pause now. Okay, so now let's take a look at number 1 down here, where it says, below are the ages of children or teens at the local zoo. And what we're going to do here is we're going to find the mean, median, mode, and range of the data. So looking at this line plot, it would probably be easier at first to write down the data values in order from least to greatest, okay? And so I'm going to start writing it. This dot right here, I'll show you how to read it. This dot right here, it stands for 3. That's a 3-year-old. Okay, and then this dot right here stands for a 5-year-old. And then these 2 dots are for 2 6-year-olds, 2 7-year-olds are here, 2 8, 3 10-year-olds, 2 12-year-olds, a 14, 15, and 16-year-old. So we're going to write the numbers in order from least to greatest. So pause the video if you need to copy the order of our numbers here. And when you're ready to continue, press play. Please pause now. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is once you have the order, is you're going to take your calculator and you're going to add all the numbers up. So I already added the numbers up just to save time. So here I'm going to write mean. Okay, so the total of all of these numbers added up, I got 141. So I write mean equals 141. But then we're going to divide it by 15 because there are 15 data values. Okay, when we get that, when we divide it, we're going to get 9.4. So that is our mean, 9.4. The next part is to find our median. And the nice part is this is already in order from least to greatest. You always have to have them in order. And you find the middle number. So you have 3 and 16, 5 and 15, 6 and 14, 6 and 12, 7 and 12, 7 and 10, 8 and 10, and then we have 10. So you're just counting your way towards the center. And so we have a middle number, and that's 10. Okay, and I always like to double check that I have the middle by making sure I have the same numbers of data values on the left and on the right, and I do. I have 7 on the left, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on the right. So my median is 10. So let's write 10. Our mode, you can look at the mode by looking at the line plot. The highest tower is your mode. So in this case, it is 10. So we're going to write 10 again here for mode. And then the range is the oldest person at the zoo minus the youngest person at the zoo. So that's going to be 16 minus 3. So let's write that in our work, 16 minus 3. So our range is going to be 13. Okay, so now it was a good time for a secret code word, and since we're talking about the zoo on problem number 1, I want you somewhere on the left side right here, tell me what your favorite animal to see at a zoo would be. And if you've never been to a zoo, just pick your favorite animal and write it right here. Okay, we're going to look at the last problem. This table shows the quiz scores for 6 students, and we're going to find the mean, median, and mode. So what I like to tell kids to do is to first put them in order, because you'll need to do that when you're dealing with the median. So I'm going to put them from least to greatest. So go ahead and write the order like I did here. The order is 56, 76, 85, 87, 92, and 96. And so we're going to first find the mean. So to find the mean is you find the total first with your calculator. Okay, and the mean when you add all of these up is 492. Okay, and then we divide by however many data values there are. So we have 6, there's 6 test scores, so we divide it by 6. Okay, and then that's going to come out evenly on this one. That one comes out to 82. Okay, so that's our mean. And now we have our median, which is our middle number. And now they're in order, so we don't have to worry about finding or putting them in order. So we count our way in from 56 to 96, then 76 to 92, 85, and 87. And there are 2 middle numbers. Okay, these 2 are the middle numbers, 85 and 87. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to add them together and divide by 2, basically just finding the middle of 85 and 87, and that is actually just 86. It's the middle of the 2. But if you can't do that in your head, then add them together, divide by 2. Okay, and then the mode, there are none of the number values that repeat, so there's no mode, so I'm going to write none. Okay, and then for the range of scores, it's going to be 96, the biggest score, minus the lowest score, okay, minus 56. So our range is 40. And that's all for your notes. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.